So we'll wait for good morning everyone. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes to start the session. All right. So in this short session today, like I'm going to cover these resume preparation guidelines and career guidance if you need anyone need like which career to choose, like whether development or testing or any other IT career. Yes, right. So this is the trainer introduction. So I am as I mentioned just now. So I'd be giving I will be covering career guidance and resume preparation. So myself, Pawan Kishore, like I'm an MCA graduate and I have like 15 plus years IT experience. And I have 5 plus, experience, 5 plus years of experience in performance testing, training and placements. All right. So for the past, 4 to 5 years approximately. Right. So in the next session, like we'll be covering how to face interviews confidently and, how to face technical interviews as well as HR rounds. Mostly on HR rounds, like how to face HR interview round and like I'll be technical interviews I'll be covering as part of that would be a separate course for for freshers like campus interview training. Here I'll be covering all this, like I'll be covering aptitude questions and technical topics and Java basics, Java and Python basics, and soft skills and communication skills and interview preparation. So I'll be covering this and this trainer, like my brother, like will be taking like how to face interviews confidently, right? So this would be like I'm planning this next week, right? So it will be a separate session for 1 to 1.5 hours. Okay. So and for today's agenda would be like how to prepare a proper CV and like how to prepare for the and which career to choose, like as per your skill set, right? As per your skill set, which career is would be the best career for you, and what are the career options available for IT freshers. Here guys, I'll take a pause here. So can you please introduce yourself one by one? Yes, please. Yeah, Shreya, can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, sir. This is Jekkam Shreya. I am from Mancherial. I have graduated my BTech in Mallareddy College, branch of Information Technology. My graduation percentage is 73. My hobbies are singing and dancing, sir.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Shreya. Prithvi?
Yeah, sir.
Can you please introduce Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Prithvi, sir. I am from Redigudam. I am currently pursuing my BTech in Lakreddy Balreddy College of Engineering, and I have completed a diploma in mechanical engineering with specification in A&M and VVR, sir, Polytechnic College, Gurlavaleru, and I have completed my schooling in Redigudam itself. Coming to my hobbies, playing indoor games and reading ebooks and photo editing. And after that, coming to my strengths, I am very much bit hard worker than smart worker.
Okay, thanks, Prithvi.
Yeah, sir.
And Sagar, Vidya Sagar.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Myself, Vidya Sagar. I have completed my BTech in AC Engineering College. Narasimha Reddy sir referred me to join the meeting. I have pursued my BTech with 65%. My hobbies are I used to read articles in free time. I used to listen songs. I used to read and write the important points through the articles. That's it, sir. I am from Aler, Yadadri district.
You are from?
Yes, sir. Aler, Yadadri district, sir. Yadadri Bongiri.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Sagar. Thanks, Vidya Sagar. Yeah, thanks everyone, guys. So the reason why I asked to introduce you, is like, this would be the first question in the interview, in any interview, isn't it? Guess, please be interactive. So
Yes,
this
sir.
would be the first question. So if you remember, right, one of the participants, just told, their name. That's it. Their name and, their name and then their city. That's it. Right. So, like when someone asks you to introduce yourself, right? So you have to mention your name. Yes, you have to mention your name and qualification. And which, if you are from BTech background, like you have to mention your which stream you are from, which branch you have done your engineering from, isn't it? That makes sense. And also you should mention your, like if you have very good percentages, like like above 70 or like that, so you can mention your percentages as well. And like next, if you have any, if you have any, if you are good in cricket or something sports, like cricket, or if indoor games like chess or something, caroms or something, so you can mention that if you participated in any state competitions or district competitions, you can mention that always, isn't it? So that makes more sense, right? So apart from like your studies, as studies, like you can mention if you are good in any as such activities, like if you participated in any district level or state level competitions, please mention them, right? So bit of accomplishment, suppose if you are active participant in NCC or something in your college, when you are in college, so you can mention that upfront, clear guys, in the introduction, so that like the interviewer will know that you are you are not a regular engineering graduate, but you have some you are involved in some extracurricular activities, like which will be useful in full for your career, guys. Okay, don't please don't mention some silly extracurricular activities, right? So but so don't let me pass regarding here Zoom recording. So that is the first part in presenting yourself, isn't it? Guys, able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's start with this resume guidelines. So which is the important thing I want to cover today for you, because I see like most of you don't like have a proper CV first thing, right? So this is because the resume is the first thing, right? They will not see you, obviously. The first thing that an interviewer or HR person will look into is your CV itself, isn't it? So I want to cover some resume preparation guidelines, right? So which I have listed here some points, some important bullet points here. The first and foremost thing that you have to understand or follow is giving a proper and meaningful resume title, guys, right? Giving a proper and meaningful resume title. So let me explain what do I mean by that, right? So for instance, like you know for instance, like I am working as a resource vendor for some QA organizations, and I asked some like I have posted some requirement, like a fresher requirement in in my YouTube channel, and like I have Facebook group which is owned and maintained by me, right? So and I received some couple of resumes from freshers. Right? So out of all these freshers, one thing that I noticed is not even like 90% of the people are not keeping a proper and meaningful resume title. When I say resume title, the file size, your resume file size, right? So I was really surprised. That is the main reason that I have organized this session, guys, this today's session, right? So how does a resume title or resume file name looks like, right? So let me like let me pause recording. Okay, so I don't want to reveal the candidate name, but I want to see what all I want to tell you is, see, this is the resume title given by him, by that particular fresher, right? So if you observe here, this is the resume title, Microsoft resume.pdf.rtf.pdf, right? So do you think that any HR any technical person, or if you HR interview HR person, will they pick this CV, guys? Morning. So coming back to this case, so do you think that your HR person, any HR person who sees this CV, will they shortlist it at the first instance, right? Guys, how many of you think that, you know, they will shortlist it? Or how many of you think that they won't shortlist this one, this CV?
I think they won't shortlist, sir.
Most probably, yes. Most probably they will not shortlist this CV. Okay. Because, you know, like they will receive like hundreds and thousands of CVs. Whenever there is a fresher recruitment, obviously, they will receive, you know, even a startup company will receive hundreds of CVs. If it is a, you know, if it is an MNC like huge organization like TCS or CDS or something, they will obviously receive thousands of CVs, right? So they will definitely ignore this CV, such kind of CVs with, you know, with very such a poor, you know, resume title. So what should your resume title should contain? What should your file size, you know, should contain is ideally you should be having like, you know, your name, right, followed by your qualification, right, followed by which year pass out you are, right? If you are a fresher, guys, right? If it is experience, you know, if you are an experienced guy, that is a different story. So I'll explain that, you know, later on. So, but if you are a fresher, right, you know, the resume title should be something like this. It should be like, you know, that's the reason I have listed down, you know, in the first place. So your CV should be having a proper and meaningful resume title, file size, right? Resume file name. Okay, let me. Make sense, guys? So it should be something like this. Like, you know, for example, if you are Prithvi, if you are sharing your resume CV, right? So it should be something like this, guys. You know, it should be like. So it should be followed by your qualification and passed out year if it is 2020 or 2021, BTech 2020 or 2021. And, you know, like if you are, you know, from CSE background, mention that group also in the file name, right? So most of the IT organizations prefer CSE, IT, and ECE, guys, right? For them, you know, first preference would be for these streams, at least, right? So if they still require, you know, they need few more resumes, right? So, you know, like you can, like they will go for, you know, other groups like EEE or, you know, some other, you know, BTech streams like mechanical or civil or something, right? But the first preference would be for like CSE graduates and IT graduates and those from like, you know, EC, right? EC engineering graduates, isn't it? So if you are from a CSE background, mention that, okay? However, suppose if you are from a civil background or mechanical background, right? You just mention, you know, BTech 2020, that's it. Okay, if you are from, you know, non-IT background, don't mention, you know, you need not mention your, you know, that thing in the file name, your resume file name. Clear, guys? Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
If you are from computer background, right, you know, you can mention, right, like, you know, CSC or some IT, right? So you can mention your, you know, that group, your stream name in BTech, right? But, you know, if you are from non-IT, non-computer background, right? Non-computer background freshers, what you can do is like, you know, you can just mention your name followed by your qualification, highest qualification, right? Right? And stream or group in BTech. BTech, you know, if it is BTech, you know, mention the group. Otherwise, if it is MCA, just mention MCA and just mention the highest qualification as MCA. So if you are from MCA background, no need, there will be no stream as such, right? So you can just mention, you know, like clear, guys? If you are from MCA background or MSc, right? Again, MSc, like you will have specialization. So if it is MSc, like, you know, you can mention if it is MSc computers or, you know, MSc maths or something, you can mention that, guys, right? So you can just mention, you know, like if you are from MSc or MCA, you can just mention your name followed by qualification, right? followed by MCA or MSc, whatever it is. Clear, guys? But if you are from non-competence background, don't miss to mention your name. The resume file name should be something like this. Your name followed by your highest qualification followed by, yours. Don't mention the stream, but you mention like year, passed out year. That's it, right? So that, like if they want to, if they want to, select only CSC and IT also, you will get a chance that, HR person will open and look into your CV, right? Once they open the CV, rest all depends on the content, like, it all depends on how good your resume is, or, how good your percentages are, right? Your, academic accomplishments as well, right? And all. Clear, guys? So if, but, if you are from non-competence background, like mechanical or civil, so please, follow this thing. Name followed by highest qualification followed by passed out year. Makes sense, guys? Suppose, if you are, like, suppose the recruitment, the job description is looking for only 2020 pass outs and, 2021, right? And you want to apply, right? So don't mention the year also in that case. So let's assume, you passed out in 2019 or 18, 2019 or 18, right? And they are looking for only like, 2020 or 2021 pass outs, right? But if you still want to apply, let's assume, you still want to apply, you just want to give a try, right? Then don't mention the year if you are 2019 or 18 pass outs. You just mention your name and qualification. Clear, guys? Or, like you can mention like resume or CV, right? Because, they should know what file is this, right? So you can mention, CV or resume, right? Let's, let's resume or CV, right? You can put anything, resume or CV, anything is fine. But, it should be having your name, your qualification, passed out year, and your qualification ideally. Is this clear, guys? What do I mean by this proper and meaningful resume name? And does it, do you agree with me? Everyone agree with me?
Yes.
And so don't use such, such lame names like this, my CV, updated CV, or Microsoft Word document. Please don't use such, such, such poor titles. Okay, that speaks, like, see, you may be good technically, you may be a, smart worker or a hard worker, but, they don't know that, right? They will not know that unless until, they work with you. So, but this tells you a lot, like they may get a wrong impression about your candidature. Isn't it, guys? So even for experienced guys also, if you are, if you are an experienced guy also, you have to maintain, you have to follow this. So you give the title as CV followed by name, right? You can give your qualification always. If it is MCA or BTech, you can mention that, right? And if you are applying, let's say, for example, you are applying for a, testing position, right? So you can mention, and you have, let's assume that you have 4 years experience, right? So you can mention that in the resume title, 4 years experience, something like this. Clear, guys? 4 years, suppose you are applying for some testing position, just mention 4 years QA experience. This makes more sense rather than giving like, my resume or my updated resume, isn't it? I'll show you some more CVs that I received, whose title is like my resume, and one guy mentioned as updated resume, right? And one more mistake that, people does is, common mistake that they does is CV, right? For TCS, something like this. For TCS means HR interview, HR person will understand that you are modifying the CV for each company, right? You are modifying the CV for each company. If you mention like this, see, you may be naming it like that, just to identify, for your identification, so that, you will remember like what CV I have sent to TCS. But please don't do this mistake. Definitely, like this CV will be ignored, right? So they will get an impression that, you are manipulating your CV for each company. You understood, guys? Don't, this is not at all advisable, right? Don't do this mistake. Okay, so I'll take a pause here. This is one more CV that I received. Resume-1-1.pdf. Right? So does this make any sense, guys? Does this title make any sense?
No,
It doesn't
sir.
have any name. It doesn't have any qualification. It doesn't tell like, which year pass out you are, and and all this, right? So this doesn't make any sense. This is one more mistake that this is one more mistake that most of the freshers do. Okay, so if you are in this session, nothing to worry. So no need to feel bad. So this is the common mistake that 90% of the freshers do. Okay, so and please follow this naming convention going forward. Make sense, guys? Shall we move to the next one, guys? Is this, guys, is this useful? Is this a useful thing that we are discussing? Do you believe that
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
this would be
Yes,
useful
sir.
thing? Right. Next, thanks. And one more thing, few more, like few more CVs I'll show you. I stopped my screen share. CV. Right. Let me share my screen. Right. You can see here. See, this is one title that I received. Updated resume. Right. I'm just giving examples, guys. To just give you some examples. Your resume title should not be like this. Like, it should be having your name, qualification. And passed out year. And if you are from CSE or IT, highlight that. Mention that in your resume title itself, so that like they will give you first preference. Okay, they will, suppose they want to shortlist some, they will receive hundreds of CVs. Suppose they want to shortlist some CVs, your CV will be one of them if you give a proper resume title to your CV, whatever you are sharing with them. Clear, guys? Agree with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Right? And the next guideline to prepare a CV is keep it to 1 page or max 2 pages. Okay, so make it try to fit it in 1 page or max 2 pages, right? So don't keep more than 2 pages at any cost. It should not be more than 2 pages at any cost. Okay, so even for experienced guys also, because a interviewer or someone who shortlists the CV or HR person, they will look into your CV for max 6 to 10 seconds. That's it. Right? They will not have minutes and hours to look into to read your CV. Right? If you put it in 3 or 4 pages, please remember that your resume should be limited to 1. If you are a fresher, like 1 or max 2 pages. Okay, I know it's difficult to fit it into 1 page. So max, it can be up to 2 pages max. Right? That is the next guideline that you have to follow. And next, avoid any spelling and grammar mistakes. So this is another common mistakes that most of the freshers does. Right? So make sure that there are no grammar mistakes or there are no spelling mistakes in your CV. Right? Agree with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? And the next thing you should follow is you should watch your tenses. Watch your tenses means, like if you did something in the past, make sure that you are representing it properly. Okay. And the next thing is avoid first person pronouns. First person pronouns means, let me explain this. Suppose, generally we'll mention like I have participated, I had participated, in so and so, don't do, you should not mention like that. You should not mention like first person pronouns, right? But you should mention like participated in. Okay. So I'll give you the source of this information. Okay. See, this is from my personal experience that, that I have seen that, many CVs, and this is from my personal experience. Like few are from, various, various websites, like which are covering these guys, which are explaining this. I'll show you the link also, right? So these are the resume guidelines. You can follow this. There are, you can Google and, you will find a lot of articles on this. Resume preparation guidelines, guys, right? And few I picked it from here. So let me, showcase this itself, right? So keep it to 1 page, right? So hold on. So keep it to 1 page. I know this is very difficult to keep it into 1 page. So you can go to max 2 pages. Clear, guys? And you can see here, hiring manager spends like 6 seconds or hardly couple of seconds. They will not spend like minutes to read into your CV, isn't it? So, like they should decide in that 6 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever time they are spending, they should decide whether they should shortlist your CV. So if your CV should be shortlisted in, such a less time, right? The less time that a HR manager spends on your CV. So it should be like, you should be following all these guidelines and avoid any spelling or grammar mistakes. This is another big mistake that many people do, right? So there are some recruiters who will discount your resume the second they see a spelling or grammar error, right? Although it can be painful, make sure you don't you don't just read over your CV several times, but also that you have a friend take a peek look into, right? And watch your tenses. This is another, you should not mention like managed or delivered or organized. If you are, if you are mentioning something which you did in the past, yes, you can mention managed or delivered or organized. But if you are still actively working on the present role, suppose you are working somewhere, right? As a fresher, you got a job and like you can mention that I am managing or I am delivering or I am organizing. So just make sure of, you use proper tense, right? If it is a past tense, use past tense, or present tense, make sure that you use proper tense for that as per the situation, right? And avoid the first person pronouns. As I mentioned just now, don't use words like I or me or my. So here is an example. I hit and exceeded company sales quota 100% of the time. So instead of saying that, you have to say hit and exceeded sales quota 100% of the time, right? Don't use this first person pronouns. This should be avoided if you have something, right? Suppose you participated in NCC. I have participated, I had participated in, don't mention that. Don't use this I, right? Instead of that, participated in, and one of the outstanding students in NCC or something. Clear, guys? Clear, guys? Does this make sense? Any queries over here till now?
No, sir.
Right. And and send your resume as a PDF. Don't send it as a, rather than a Word document, send your resume as a PDF, right? So that, because what happens is, when they have multiple, Word for version, right? MS Office versions, right? So they may, they will, the format may change, or there may be some inconsistency. But if you are using some, PDF format, right? So, no matter whether they open it on a, a laptop or, or a mobile, the format looks, uniform if you send it as a PDF. See, some people, like as we are working from home now, some HR persons, hiring managers, they may be opening your CV on their mobile, right? So if you are using a Word document kind of those, there will be the format will not be will not be consistent. Okay. So make guess, is there any background noise from my side?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So send it as a PDF. Send it in PDF format rather than a Word document. There, guys, and label your resume file correctly. This is the one I kept in the first place. That is very important. Okay, this should be in the first place, right? This is the one that I have kept in the first place, and I observed most of the freshers do this mistake. They don't give a proper resume title, right? So that's the reason I kept it in the first place. Okay, so they gave some example here, of course, first name and last name. Last name not really required. Just let's use our common sense. So give your name followed by your qualification followed by passed out year, which year passed out you are, and your specialization. That makes more sense. They just gave an example here, guys. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to follow only this thing. Understood? So whatever I have mentioned, please follow that. Or let me put it here, guys. I'll share this. If you ping your email ID, I can share this PPT with you, with everyone. You can ping me your email ID in the Zoom chat so that I can share. If you want this PPT presentation, I can share it to you. Qualification, name, qualification followed by passed out year, right? And qualification followed by specialization or stream. Right? Dot PDF. Please send it in PDF format. This makes more sense, right? Name for qualification, specialization, followed by passed out year. And, please remember that, you have to share your CV in PDF format. Clear, guys? And the next thing you need to follow is, guys, is it clear? Any queries? You can ping your email ID in the Zoom chat, guys, if you want. Okay. And, like if you want to have this, this presentation, next thing you should follow is minimum font size should be 10, right? Your, the text size, font size, the font size of the text should be minimum of 10. Okay. Please don't use, 8 or 9 font, right? So to fit it into most people, some people do this mistake, to make it shorter, to fit it into one page, they may make it to, they may use font size of 8 or 9, right? But, you have to maintain a minimum font size of 10 or 12. 10 or 12 is the font size, the appropriate font size, right? And it should be like organized and visually appealing. Your CV should be organized and visually appealing, and keep it consistent. Keep it consistent in the sense. So if you are using at end of the line, if you are using a dot or a period, right? You have to keep it for all the sentences. If you don't keep, dot, leave it. But if you keep a dot at end of the line, or if you keep a dot or a period at end of the line, you maintain that consistency, right? Or, if you are using bold titles like subheadings, right? So summary, like our academic qualification and all those. So if you are following, if you give bold title at one instance, give it throughout your CV. You got it, right? What do I mean to say by this? Keep it consistent means. Guys, understood or no? Yes, are you with me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. And you got this, you understood this one, right? If you keep a dot at end of the line, so keep it for every line. Okay. Don't, keep it for a few lines and, skip it for few lines. Maintain some consistency here, right? And in the same way, if you are giving some bold titles, subheadings and all, like you will be keeping, in bold, right, in your CV. So if you are following that, if you are giving bold titles, give it in wherever it is applicable, give it, right? Keep it in bold. Clear, guys? Otherwise, there is no, it's not mandatory that you have to keep it in bold, but if you are giving bold titles, maintain that consistency, right? So let me show you, like here as well. So keep it consistent, right? Just like you want to your verb tenses to be consistent throughout, it's also important that the formatting is too. If one title is bold, the other titles also should be bold. And if one bullet point has a period at the end, the other bullet points should have that as well. Clear, guys? Right. So let's go to the next point. So next guideline. So don't include any references. Please don't include any references. Suppose like you are applying for a position in CTS or TCS. So you need not mention that you need not mention any references unless until they ask. Unless until they ask, don't include any references in your CV. Okay. You need not modify CV for each company, and you need not send it. Maintain some so that is also a time taking task, isn't it? So don't give any references unless until they ask you to provide, right? And no need to list everything you have ever done. Don't list, no need to list everything you have ever done. Means, so no need to list everything what you did from your school time and all, right? And the next point is read the job description and list out key phrases. This is important thing. Read the job description, right? And list out key phrases. Suppose the job description says that we need someone who is good in Java or Python, right? Make sure that if you are good in Java, at least basics of Java or Python, so make sure that you mention that in your CV, right? Don't miss that, and you can highlight this. Suppose if the job description JD mentions that they are looking for some resources who are good in Java or Python, make sure that you mention that in your CV, and also you can highlight that, right? So if you hold any certifications, yes, you can mention that. You should mention. Suppose you did some Java certification, right? So you should mention that in your CV. Clear, guys? so that there will be high chances that your resume will be shortlisted and you will be selected if you did certification on your own, guys. Okay. And remember to mention the LinkedIn profile ID. This is the last one. Last but not the least, remember to mention the LinkedIn profile ID. So if you have a LinkedIn profile ID, mention that in your resume title. Next to your email ID, you can mention this. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right. So do you believe that these guidelines make sense? Right. And most of you, you might have missed most of these, right? How many of you followed this, guys? Yes, I am asking a question. How many of you followed this?
Sir, I have followed all the rules, but name I have mentioned in different way.
Okay. Your name, please. I am seeing your name as guest.
Vikrant.
Vikrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you want? Yeah.
Vikrant underscore Vikrant, not fresher underscore Vikrant underscore BTech. I have mentioned.
Okay.
As I am mechanical, I have mentioned like that.
Okay. So yes, if you are from non-computers background, don't mention that in your file name. Okay, that's what I have explained till now, right? So if you are from non-computers background like mechanical or civil, because HR person, they may ignore your CV. If they may be mostly looking for CSC or IT graduates, right? So they will give first preference always, right? So if you are from non-computers background like mechanical or civil, don't mention that in your resume title at least. Here it is. But if you are from computers background, you should mention. You should make sure that you have that mentioned in your file name, your resume file name, as well as in your inside your CV also. Got it, guys?
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll show you. I'll show you one more mail. Let me search further. So I recently received one CV where that girl, like particular girl, was from computers background. She did her BTech from CSC, computer science and engineering. So she mentioned it in the subject line, but somehow she missed to mention that in the CV, right? So CSC, like she mentioned it in CV in the subject. But she missed to mention in the CV. In the CV, she mentioned just BTech. Right? Now, what happens here is, now what happens here is, suppose, HR on seeing the subject line, HR may shortlist it and send it to the panel. But, just because that, that CSC is not mentioned in the CV itself, right? And, there is a chance that, that interview panel, technical panel guy, he may ignore that CV because CSC is not mentioned, or she did not mention any, anything. See, if you are from engineering background, right? So if you are an engineering graduate, you are supposed to mention that, which specialization, which stream you have done in the CV at least, right? So if it is not mentioned, see, because they will be receiving hundreds of CVs, technical panel, they will be receiving hundreds of CVs, right? They may filter out and ignore that CV because, the group is not mentioned. Or the specialization is not mentioned in the CV itself, right? So this is another mistake that most of the people do, right? And like, hold on, let me check this. Let me open the PPT and let me see like if I miss something. Okay, guys. And one more important thing, very important thing, right? So so this is from our recent experience, guys. So we have shortlisted some CVs and shared it to one IT organization, one QA organization in Hyderabad, right? And I have shared some CSC and IT profiles, right? Engineering CSC and IT profiles. I shared some profiles to a startup company, right? So, HR person called to them, shortlisted them, and, they have called them. And, like, I can't mention the name. I'm not supposed to mention their name, right? So, but, this will be useful to everyone, guys. That's why, I had to mention this. Please understand that. So I had to mention this because, this will be useful to everyone, isn't it? So they called to one, candidate, like one engineering graduate who did her BTech in her BTech in IT, right? So the HR person asked that candidate, that guy, like, what is IT? What is information technology, right? They will expect, that is the bare minimum thing that they will expect, right? So because, when HR call you, they will not be good technically. They will not be good in, like Java or Python, or, they will not be good technically. But this is what they can ask, right? So if you are from CSE, they may ask you, what is computer science? Can you define computer science, right? Or if you are from information technology, that particular HR person asked, what is information technology, right? And if you can't answer that, obviously they will not select or shortlist your profile, isn't it? Yes, makes sense. So if HR person asks you, what is information technology or what is computer science, if you can't answer that, definitely they will not shortlist your profile. Yes or no? Because you spent 4 years, in studying, for that, for 4 years in your academics, right? In your engineering college, you spent 4 years. And, if you can't answer what is computer science or what is information technology, no one will select that profile. No one will shortlist the profile. Yes or no, guys? So assume that, if you are a HR person, will you shortlist them? Or if you are a technical guy who are doing interview after 5 years or 10 years, let's assume that, you got some profiles and, you have to shortlist some profiles. Will you shortlist them, guys? If they can't answer, like, what is computer science or what is information technology? Yes, please respond, like I'm worried if I am audible or not when there is no response.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, whatever, like, see, these are basic things, right? So, and also apart from these basic things, you should know what is SQL. If you are from CSE, you should know what is SQL. You should be good in SQL queries, right? They will ask you some aptitude questions, simple aptitude questions, like profit and loss percentage, or, what is that? Simple percentage questions. Because, the HR will not know, like what is Java and, what is OOPS concept. HR cannot ask you unless until they have a set of questions, right? Someone gave them a set of questions. HR person doesn't know all these technical things, like what is OOPS concept in Java or what is platform independency in Java. They cannot ask this. So this is what they can ask. Anyone can ask. They can ask you some simple profit and loss percentages, gain and loss percentages. Or they may ask you some time and some simple aptitude questions on time and distance, isn't it? Or some percentage questions, right? And surprisingly, like most of the freshers could not answer such basic questions. Okay, so please, please be prepared. Please be prepared. Like, you should be able to guess, like, what an interviewer asks. Like, if it is a HR person, what he may ask, or, if it is a, technical guy, what he may ask, right? So you should prepare well for the interviews, like, so that, you will get a very good opportunity as soon as possible, right? I will take a pause here, guys. Any questions? Any questions, on the recording? Right. So having said that, on these resume preparation guidelines, guys, please go through, follow these resume preparation guidelines, whatever I have mentioned till now. Right. There may be few more also, but these are the important ones, guys. These are very important ones. Right. Now coming back to this career guidance, right? So there are different careers, IT careers that you can choose, right? So you can go to development, software development, or you can go to software testing, right? So there are many careers. So, considering IT freshers, right? So I can say that, there are two major careers. One is development, the other one is software development, and the other one is software testing. Now, which one to choose? right? Which suits you, which suits you, and which career you can excel, right? So let's understand that, right? So simple, simple logic test. If you are very good in mathematics from your school time, right? Be it your, SSC, or, be it your intermediate, or be it your engineering. If you used to do very good in mathematics, right? You can go for development. If you are very interested in programming, generally, if you are good in mathematics, that means like you have good reasoning skills, logical skills, and you can do good in software development, right? A simple thumb rule, guys, simple common sense, right? So if you are very good in mathematics, like, and if you are very good in programming only, then only choose software development as your career, right? So don't think that, at the same time, don't think that, software development is the only career in IT, right? You have software testing, and you have security testing, you have, cyber security as a career. You can choose cyber security as a career. There are a lot many other careers in IT, right? And if you are not interested in programming, or if you did not get, very good marks in mathematics in your academics, right? So better don't go for development. So just because, someone got job in Python, or someone got job in Java, don't choose that. You need not choose that, isn't it? So if you want to, if you so if you want to excel in your career, if you want to do well in your career, right? So you can always look for other options like software testing, or, security testing, or cyber security. There are a lot of other careers, isn't it, guys? Right? And so of course, like, if you choose software development, there are a lot of careers. Like, you can go for Java, .NET, or Python, or any of these. You can, if you already did a course in Java or Python, you might have already known, like, how good are you in programming, or how interested are you, to go to programming side, development side. But if you are good in, if you are not good in programming, if you are not good in mathematics in your academics, you can always choose software testing as your career. And remember that, see, these are the, like, hold on. So these are the important, software testing trends for 2021 that you need to know, right? First, let me show you what is the software testing market. Okay. So you can see here, software testing market is a, $40 billion market in 2020. In this year, it was $40 billion market. And by 2027, it would be $60 billion market. You got it? So, see, these are the numbers, given by some research organizations, these are not my own numbers, right? So, and you can see that, software testing in market is growing by more than 7% CAGR. Okay. Let me show you something, like, in 2019, there were estimates that, hold on, let me pull up some other slide. I'm stopping my screen share. Stop this recording, sorry. But
Yes, sir.
okay. So, I missed to cover few more topics, right? Yeah, I covered this, and few more things I actually wanted to cover is, like, yeah. So this tells you, like, like, what are the salaries in testing and software in performance testing. Okay. So before that, let me show you few more things. How many openings are there for freshers in IT? So here you can see, there are, like, IT majors are on hiring spree. Add 50,000 freshers in Q2. Q2 means quarter two, right? In just quarter two, they have, they have plans to add, or they have added 50,000 freshers, right? Quarter two means, quarter one means, from April to April, May, June. That is quarter one, right? In India, we follow this financial year, right? So quarter one means, like, from April to April, May, June, those 3 months, that is called as Q1, and July, August, September, that is called as Q2. So in second quarter of this year, 50,000 freshers are recruited already, and there are, around 10 lakh openings for freshers. That is a very huge number, right? And TCS, Infosys, Wipro, these companies itself, they want to recruit 1 lakh freshers this year. Only these companies, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, IT company, these companies want to recruit 1 lakh freshers this year itself. And there will be, like, it is expected that there will be around, like, 10 lakh openings, in the coming years in IT, right? So that is one thing, sorry, I missed out to, mention. right? And this is how, like, this is how crazy, like, recruitment, fresher recruitment is going on. And you might have already seen that most of your, friends would have, or you, some of you also might have got some placement already, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Most of your friends also might have got selected.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and one second, guys. Let me close this recording. Let me pause it. And by the way, like, please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such, free demo sessions and videos. So thanks for watching, and have a nice day and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Let me pause this recording.